Thank you, Ollie. More excitement, more drama, more jeopardy, maybe more goals, and maybe, just maybe, a first trip to the knockout stages of the World Cup for either New Zealand or Egypt. They could both get there yet. A shock result earlier on in group play. Belgium's failure with 10 men in the end to beat Iran. That game ended goalless, so a real opportunity for these two teams. Shaking hands now on the fringes of the centre circle. New Zealand, the all-white, true to their name, all-white from collar down to boots. And Egypt in the red shirts, their trademark as well. Two powerful anthems sung with gusto as the players break now for official team photographs. BC Place is the stadium, Vancouver the city. And now a real opportunity to make a mark on a World Cup that, after all the preamble, has brought plenty of surprises. And a sea of red shirts in the stands as well. Egypt well supported. New Zealand too have their flags flying as well, as the referees team, headed by an Emirati official, Omar Al Ali, pose for their photo. The VAR is also Emirati, Mohammed Hamid, at the remote hub in Dallas. As the captains come into the centre as well. Chris Wood is there already. Let's go through the teams then. For New Zealand, unchanged from their opening game, their 1-1 draw with Iran. Millwall's Max Crocombe is in goal. A back four of Tim Payne, Finn Sermon, Michael Boxall, and Wrexham's Liberato Kakache. The midfield three is Joe Bell, born in England, plays in Norway. Sarpreet Singh, who impressed in the opener, and Swansea's Marko Stamenic. The front three, with one very recognisable name in Chris Wood, the captain, supported by Callum McCowart of Silkeborg in Denmark, and Motherwell's Elijah Just, who scored both goals in the opening game. As for Egypt, Mustafa Shober is in goal in an unchanged 11 from their draw with Belgium in the opener. Ahmed Fatou, Hamdi Fati, Yasser Ibrahim and Mohamed Hani make up the back four. Mohamed Lachine and Marwan Atia, who both play in Egypt, play behind Mohamed Salah, who is the 10 and captain. Emma Mashaw was their goal scorer in the opener. Mustafa Ziko and he are the wingers. And Manchester City's Omar Marmoush will lead the line. My name is Cameron Pope. It's New Zealand versus Egypt, and alongside me, the former Arsenal winger, Perry Groves.
Yep, obviously a lot of jeopardy in this game, Cameron. New Zealand and Egypt both with a point each, both drawing their first games. And obviously Iran and Belgium drawing earlier as well. So both of these teams know if they win this game, then they'll be in control of Group G, exactly where you'd want to be after the second game.
It certainly is, and you have to say as well, it's definitely a must-win for New Zealand. They have Belgium coming up in their final game. That'll also be played in Vancouver in the early hours of Saturday morning UK time. For Egypt, it will be Iran. What a game that could be in Seattle at the same time. But now, attention is on match day 2. And they know the result of the earlier game. They know that top spot will go to any side that can win this game, and the honour of a first World Cup win is also at stake for both teams. These are the games we hope for in an expanded World Cup tournament. Well, 2 draws from the openers meant no Group G team could either progress or be eliminated in this round of games. And the draw between Belgium and Iran makes this group even more unpredictable. 4 points from the remaining matches will guarantee either New Zealand or Egypt second in the group as a minimum, neither side having ever progressed beyond the group stage. New Zealand get us started by going forward long in their white shirts. Left to right they kick as Ian Perry look at it. Cross on the right hand side is fumbled by the Egyptian goalkeeper, and a first test for the Egypt back line, and Ahmed Fatou on the left foot gets it clear. Only as far as the edge of his defensive third. It's quite the tempo set by New Zealand. Sarpreet Singh near side there right. That time he runs in to Ahmed Fatou. And out for a throw in which New Zealand have already taken. They're wasting no time here. Cross came in from Tim Payne. That one was dealt with more simply. And Egypt have a pressure alleviating free kick on the edge of their own box after Omar Marmoush was pulled down by Finn Sermon. Well, 1 minute in, Perry, if all 90 minutes are like that, I'm going to need to lie down after
Just
it.
tell you what, it was a really, really fast start from New Zealand. A brilliant ball from Payne just down that right-hand side. McCowart just got himself in behind Fatou, got a decent cross in. and Shabir in the Egyptian goal.
Oh, here comes Marmoush, played in down the left-hand side, and he was well marshalled there by Finn Sermon. The second time those two have clashed. 90 seconds on the watch. It was Fatsi, the left-back, who'd floated one down to Marmoush, tried to turn inside the rangy Kiwi defender, and the Portland Timbers man muscled it back to his goalkeeper. In the end, he's gone long, instantly looking for Chris Wood. Only found the back of his shirt, though. He was belting out God defend New Zealand just a few minutes ago. He's the target again. 0-0 after 2 minutes.
Do you know what, Ibrahim, the Egyptian centre-half, got away one there because it was just a long clearance from Crocombe in New Zealand's goal, and it just went over the top of the Egyptian back four, and Chris Wood was actually in. It actually hit the back of his heel and went back to Ibrahim, and he was able to clear the danger for Egypt to recycle possession.
Well, he's a relic of the 2010 World Cup, Chris Wood. Became the first New Zealander to play at 2 World Cups. He was only 18 last time as they exited the tournament unbeaten in the group stage. That's still a possibility again, and their start has been rip-roaring against Egypt in this one. I'm just seeing on our monitors the rerun of that Chris Wood chance that did flick up off the back of his heel. You read it right, Perry. New Zealand surely buoyed, as both teams will be after that result in the earlier game, and they will know what an opportunity awaits them either side that can get an advantage in this game. New Zealand with a better start against Iran. They were pegged back twice in their opener as goalkeeper Crocombe plays it short and out to his right hand side, where Tim Payne was quickly closed down. Imam Ashur, the man to send it out of play for a New Zealand throw in just inside their own half.
Well, there's been a couple of times where New Zealand are in possession, they're not frightened to go long. Obviously Egypt's looking to press from the front. Marmoush goes up level with Mo Salah when Crocombe's got the ball, but Egypt keep that high line, so New Zealand aren't frightened just to dink it in behind. So neither team have had a lot of possession with passing movements, but I say New Zealand looks just a little bit more threatening going forward.
Well, it's often derided, isn't it, Perry, the long ball tactic, but it doesn't look bad, does it? It's exciting when it makes the game as end-to-end as this one has been.
Yeah, get it back to the 80s, Cameron, get it in the channels, get them turned, pin them in the corners. Basically, you just want to mix it up, I think there's now fans are getting fed up of the lateral passing from the goalkeeper, the centre halves, and out to right back and then back across again. So and Brentford were very successful in the Premier League doing that last season.
Long ball from Egypt goes straight over the top of all the head, assembled on the edge of the penalty area. An easy gather for Crocombe, who rolls it short to his back four defence and finds Michael Boxall of Minnesota United. Now played short and out the near side right for New Zealand towards Payne. And a long ball over the top. This time is searching for Sarpreet Singh, who put pressure on Iranian defenders in the opening game. He put pressure on Egypt this time, but Yasser Ibrahim was able to clear. And with no goals on TalkSport after 4.5 minutes, the All Whites start again inside their own half. Moving the ball with some pace now. Callum McCowan it was to start the move on halfway. Found Stamanic. Swansea man left it underneath his boot though. And here comes Mohamed Salah, and there's a roar from the crowd now. Red shirt, black shorts, and over halfway he darts. Now he's halfway inside the New Zealand half. Plays it forward to Marmoush, whose touch wasn't great. It was heavy, took it away from him, and New Zealand's just could take it back. And the ensuing clearance cannons off an Egyptian midfielder and rebounds 30 yards downfield and out for a New Zealand goal kick. 0-0, 5 on the clock.
Do you know what? It's really poor play from Marmoush, because Mo Salah did really well. Just picked Stanicic's pocket in Egypt's own half, ended up going out to the right hand side, just skipped past the challenge, and then what he did, he just rolled it into Marmoush. He wanted a little give and go, and Marmoush, it was what we call a Tonka touch, where he's got diver's boots on and the ball just went 4 yards away from him. Like a player of his technical ability should be able to hold it up and then just get it back to Mo Salah.
So no goals in this one as Chris Wood is dispossessed on halfway, and here comes that man Salah again, and Chris Wood is tracking back to try and keep him out of the area, into the 18 and has a shot, but it's deflected. A few calls for handball, more in hope than expectation from Egyptian supporters, and the Emirati referee is unmoved as New Zealand get it clear towards halfway. Just starting to come under more pressure now. The New Zealand defence, Callum McCowan has had to drop further back towards his defensive line from the attacking line. Now it's with his fellow attacker Sarpreet Singh, halfway inside his own half, tackled by Fatty, Ball went forward for Egypt, but Elijah Just was underneath. And now the man who lit up the opening round of games can come forward for the Kiwis. Into the centre circle for Chris Wood. Whipped out to the left-hand side for Wrexham's Kakache. Forward towards the 18-yard box and shot wide. Sarpreet Singh it was. Took it on the half-turn, flicked it up and volleyed across goal. The goalkeeper might have had it covered. Either way, it flashes beyond the far post. And it remains New Zealand 0, Egypt 0.
Yeah, just really fluid there from New Zealand. Much the same when they played Iran in their first game. Just came into Just, and then he just rolls into Chris Wood. Chris Wood holds it up, just puts out Kakache on that left-hand side. And it's a real good spotter's badge from Kakache, because he sees Singh on the edge of the 18-yard box, just cuts it back to him. It's a good first touch from Singh out of his feet. His left-footed shot didn't hit the target.
First real chance for either side. No goals as Salah strides forward 35 yards out from goal, but is tackled by Just. And he always wants the ball, Elijah Just. He wanted it back then, and now he gets a 1-2 away, and he was stopped by the referee. Joe Bell had done well to angle it towards him. And in fairness to Omar Al Ali, he tried to jump out of the way there, the referee, and he got it stuck between his boots. And so we're going to have to start with a New Zealand ball just inside their own half. And a shame, Perry, because they were away there.
Yep. Omar Ali, the referee, actually decent first touch, because it was behind him with his outside of his right foot. Then he got it onto his left foot, but he didn't move the ball on quick enough, caught in possession, stopped play, quite rightly gave the ball back to New Zealand. And the thing that, again, when we're watching these, nations we're probably not, particularly aware of, even in this first, coming up to 8 minutes, is how quickly New Zealand moved the ball, how quickly they're 1 and 2 touch into Singh and Just and Wood. Don't over-elaborate, and the fluidity of movement is very, very good as well.
Well, it's relentless stuff, isn't it? I was really impressed with the build-up play they exhibited, particularly for the first goal for Elijah Just in the opening round of games against Iran. Chris Wood chesting it down, and then Just with a good finish as well. They can really move the ball, and they're exhibiting it in the opening 8 minutes. 0-0.
Yeah, just looking at Egypt just dropping back into their 4-4-2 shape, out of possession. But obviously Mo Salah is up front with Marmoush out of possession, and obviously Mo Salah goes to close down, but he's never been known for his defensive duties, even when he's at his pomp. So it's a bit of a token effort really on the closing down side, and it's enabled New Zealand just to get themselves in a little bit of rhythm and dominate possession.
Well, all through that discussion, New Zealand have been indulging that phenomenon that Perry spoke out against a moment ago, the lateral pass. It's gone forward to back across the back four, and now they're giving it away in the midfield with Egypt now going to their defensive reaches as well. Matching each other for shape, these two in 4-2-3-1s, as Yasser Ibrahim, who plays for Al Ahly, dominant club side, picks it up and finds his club teammate Mohamed Hani at right back, and now back across the line to the left back Ahmed Fatou, who plays for Zamalek, another massive Egyptian giant. Not for Ray forward though. Fatou standing over it, just a shade inside his own half. He's gone cross field now, aerially towards Hani, who had to chest it and then almost lost it to Elijah Just. And Just is still harrowing and hustling, and he's managed to take it back at the second time of asking. On halfway for New Zealand. No goals on TalkSport so far. Every game of this World Cup brought to you. 104 in total in this expanded tournament. And the expansion as well, we should say, Perry, with the opportunity for 8 of the best 12 third place teams to go through. I thought we were going to be talking about that for these two teams, given that third place seemed a decent backup. This group is still winnable.
Yeah, very much so. So it's been more draws than an IKEA Superstore, hasn't they, so far in Group G. So if one of these teams can get the victory, that virtually guarantees, that they're going to qualify for the last 32.
Haven't heard that one before. Been sitting on that one.
Here all week.
Here come Egypt near side their left, trying to get away into the New Zealand penalty area at 0-0. It's picked up by Marwan Attia, corner of the area, goes cross field, might be ambitious, and it was, looking for Mohamed Hani. If he kept it in, he would have been available at the corner flag for a cross, but it skips away off his outstretched toe, and it is a New Zealand goal kick. 0-0, close to 11 minutes played at BC Place. New Zealand playing their final two group games on this pitch. Far cooler temperatures than at the American and Mexican stadia. Does have a retractable roof actually. It takes 20 minutes to open, but it's going to be closed for the whole tournament. As Elijah Just handballs and halfway for New Zealand. Something to do with the artificial grass they've shipped in. They were worried that it might not grow evenly, and it might be a bit patchy, like Wimbledon centre court on the latter stages of the tournament. I'm not too sure. I'm not a born horticulturalist. I'll leave it to those who know.
The thing is, were they worried about, you getting the bare goalmouths, bare centre circles again, going back to the pictures of sort of the 80s, where like these days they're all of them like bowling greens. The surface is absolutely perfect. You don't get any bobbles or divots, so the players can concentrate on their passing.
And that's an element of 80s football perhaps we don't want back when we talk of nostalgia. 0-0.
And none of the players get muddy anymore.
That's true.
It's an easier job for whoever's washing the kit.
Well, especially New Zealand in all white. Here come Egypt over halfway and out to the left hand side for Fatu, who stands in it on his left boot. Plays it back towards Fati. Egypt defenders seeing a lot of the ball as they move it back inside their own half under the pressure of Chris Wood. Ibrahim forward for Egypt. Up to the right hand side. And Zico has got him behind the defender, cuts it back for Mohamed Salah. He couldn't thread it through a sea of defenders. He had Marmoush waiting for him, tried to toe prod it from the edge of the area. New Zealand trying to mount a counter, but Sarpreet Singh was tackled fairly in the centre circle by Fatu, and Egypt have the ball back, albeit at the expense of 80 yards or so. 0-0. Here comes Ashore, cutting in from the left-hand side. Now halfway inside New Zealand territory. Tries a right-footed cross, but it's the veteran Boxall who heads it away. And Kakache slams a left boot through it and brings in Chris Wood on the half.
Yeah, Kakache actually got away with one because he just fell asleep in that left-back position, and Zico got in behind him, couldn't quite get it from underneath his feet. Just looking at Egypt, they're not frightened for Fati to go and actually play in midfield, just to try and get a little overload coming in from centre half alongside Atia and Lachine. But the thing that, like, the game's got a good flow about it. Both teams have positive intent. When they're in possession, they're looking to go forward. They want to try and create the chances. So we had a little spell where it got a little bit lateral, where it went from Sermon to Boxall, the two New Zealand centre halves. But other than that, it's been a very positive opening.
0-0. Here comes Stamanic for the Kiwis. Plays it forward to Justin Sheets at the near post, and the goalkeeper palms it round for a corner. Well, Elijah Just on 2 goals already this tournament, and he's forced the first save of the game out of Mustafa Shobair. There's an Egypt man down in back play. It all came from a free kick on halfway after Kakache was fouled by Zico. It was taken quickly by New Zealand's Stamanic, slipped it through the channel to find the Motherwell man, and just shooting for the near post, and then tipped around to the relative safety of a corner. Meanwhile, it was Yasser Ibrahim who, after Stamanic had released the ball, had brought him down to ground, who ended up on the deck. He was the worse off, having made the tackle himself, but he's back up on his feet to defend this corner in the 15th minute of the game, although it will be delayed because the referees come across to have a word with Ashore and Stamanic, who are right up next to the goalkeeper. Mustafa Shobair, all in green except for his boots, they're bright yellow. Claps his gloves together in the shade of his crossbar. Corner, New Zealand from their left. Heads go on, it's 1-0. Finn Sermon has scored. And the Kiwis lead inside the opening quarter of an hour. Going in search of that first ever World Cup win. They came close in the opener, but they're coming closer now to a first qualification for the knockout stage. A long way to go, but it's New Zealand 1, Egypt 0.
Well, Sermon is preaching to the Egypt centre halves, because it's a brilliant delivery from the left-hand side, in swinging corner, right-footed, and then Sermon just loses marker, gets himself onto the edge of the 18-yard box. It's a brilliant header because he's using the pace of the corner as he comes up. He rises above the Egyptian defenders and gives Shobair and the Egyptian goal absolutely no chance whatsoever. Lachine's got to do better because he just sort of caught underneath the ball. Just really poor defending as well from Fatu. But from New Zealand's point of view, it's a brilliantly crafted set piece. The movement's good from Sermon. The header's even better. New Zealand go 1-0 up against Egypt.
Well, Sermon the first to move from that corner, and he's the first to score in this game. Welsh-born, the man from Cardiff has done it for New Zealand. Left his marker Mohamed Lachine, and the goalkeeper Shobair was heading the other way. He'd taken a half step to his left, the ball went to his right, he couldn't get there, and after 16 minutes New Zealand lead Egypt, who you would have fancied for a top 2 spot by a goal to nil, and they, for the moment, have gone top of the group, and Egypt have gone bottom. That draw earlier on between Iran and Belgium finishing that game with 10 after Nathan Ngoy was sent off. Wide open, and both of these teams knowing that 4 points will confirm a place in the top 2. A win might be enough as one of the best third place sides. New Zealand, who've had the only real attacks of the game so far, have the lead, and they've got a free kick now in the centre circle. Lachine, the man who lost his man for the corner, has got the first yellow card of the game. A high boot it was in the centre circle. I think it's Sarpreet Singh, yes it is Singh, who's gone down. They caught him around about the collarbone.
Yep. That's done a good 30 seconds. Lachine, to be fair, lost his marker for the goal for New Zealand, and he'd say just come round. Singh just looks like he's got away from him. To be fair, Omar Al Ali, I think he's been a bit too quick to get his yellow card out there. I think it was a foul, but not every foul is a booking. But the corner that New Zealand scored from came from a really brilliant move of Stamanic, just releasing just down that left hand side. It was a brilliant save from Shobi low down to his left. And when you're playing across, Chris Wood wasn't very happy with just because he's waiting for the pullback. And then obviously he's got himself out of jail because New Zealand have scored from the corner. But that is all about the delivery from Payne, the New Zealand right back, where in swinging was right from the left hand side, and it's just a very, very well guided header from Sermon.
So 17 and a half minutes gone at BC Place. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0, and it's the Egyptians with a work to do, starting with a throw in from their right back position with Hani. Takes the 1-2, clears long on the right foot, up towards halfway where Boxall wins it. New Zealand fans having a party, at least 5,000 expected in North America. There were direct flights to Vancouver, also to LA. And that's not to mention all the expats and those who've come across from the UK as well. And they're on the attack again with just 35 yards out. Tried a speculative effort, rode up off a defender, and has arced around the corner flag to go out for a throw-in to New Zealand. Controlling this game at the moment, 19 gone, 1-0 they lead through Finn Sermon's headed goal. Singh trying to cross, having been the short man from the throw. Egyptian defender Hani got there just in time, so clears, and it will be another Kiwi throw-in from exactly the same spot, 10 yards from the corner flag, and they've gone quickly again with it. Kakache 1-2 with Singh, but then they lost it on the return ball, flicked into the area all the same, and a goalkeeping save is needed at the near post. I think it was Sermon again, it flashed to. He's come back up from the defence, fancied a second goal of the game. Here they come now with Kakache on the left-hand side, into the channel, went down under the challenge, and it was a clear one. And Egypt are just starting to live with the pressure. They've got a free kick as well, and the yellow card has gone to Sarpreet Singh for having barged over Mustafa Ziko inside his own half. Egypt aren't waiting around though, they're already well over halfway. Near side there left now, corner of the area with Fatu. 1-0 down, 20 minutes almost on the stadium clock. Crossed over to the far side Egyptian right with Hani, into the penalty area for Salah, played it back to Hani, whose shot was deflected off Stamanic, and it's gone for a corner, and you can hardly catch your breath in this game. New Zealand lead 1-0, but they've copped a yellow card as well now, and now they've got a corner to defend.
Yeah, good link up play down Egypt's right hand side with Mo Salah and Hani. Just rolling it back to Hani, gets his shot into Biffes. Stamanic did really well, made sure when he got the block in. So corner for Egypt over on their right hand side.
And it's played well, it's played short, back up the line. Marwan Atta thought about a cross, played it back towards Ziko, the taker. Now it's Salah, corner of the area, feeding it back to his right back, cross deep towards the back post. And the header was skimming off the top there. Mustafa Ziko it was. He was claiming a corner, and it has belatedly been given as a corner. I think the referee was moving for a goal kick there initially.
The referee, he's guessed.
Well, there were a lot of bodies in the penalty area there. Maybe we can forgive him that. He's on his World Cup debut, Omar Al Ali, and now he's changed his mind again, and it is a goal kick. Well, he's clearly got the word in the ear from VAR. It's a new phenomenon at this tournament. They can't overturn wrongly awarded corners. They can't overturn wrongly awarded goal kicks and make them corners, or so I believe. It's a strange way around, isn't it?
Needs some consistency. If they could do it for both.
It's an interesting one. But after 21 minutes, the salient fact is it's New Zealand 1, Egypt 0, approaching what I'm sure is your favourite thing, Perry Groves, the first hydration break of the game, and it comes at a point where the game is alive and kicking.
Yeah, I think New Zealand won't want the hydration break because they're the ones that have been in the flow. Egypt haven't really got going.
Well, they won't need it because it's, 6:30 nearly local time in the cool climes of Vancouver, and it's going to rob us of action in a game that's been end-to-end so far.
Yeah, but the thing is they have to do it in every game because otherwise they'll see that teams gain advantage because tactically the managers can change things with a hydration break. So I'm with the consistency. You either have it or you don't. So I get the consistency.
But what I don't understand is why they can't have a rule like they do in tennis where it goes over a certain temperature, then you need the hydration break, say 30 degrees, and then you have the break as Egypt clear.
And then you complicate
them halfway
even more. Do you know what I mean? So it's just easier to. And let's be honest, it's purely for advertising revenue that FIFA are going to make. If the boos go around the stadium for the first hydration break, FIFA apparently are going to make £790 million from dollars from these hydration breaks. So obviously the money goes to FIFA. What will happen is, I'll guarantee you, in 5 years' time, football will be 4 quarters because of the money that all the clubs owners will realise that they can obviously get from these hydration breaks. So they're going to be not in the Premier League for 2 or 3 years, but definitely in about 4 or 5 years' time.
Well, I'm sure our producers have just clicked up that link for posterity. Will be played out on TalkSport in 5 years' time, indeed, when we have the first Premier League hydration break, I'm sure, if it comes to be. For now, though, players from both sides have headed over to the near touchline. A drinks break. It comes at 22.5 minutes in the game. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0 on TalkSport, and the Egyptian players, with a game to chase, are deep in discussion. All the games up to this point in the group drawn. As we saw with Belgium versus Iran earlier, brought to you on the TalkSport network. That game in LA ending goalless, I should say, and Belgium finishing with 10. Also in Group H, there were wins. There was a win for Spain, 4-0 in Atlanta against Saudi Arabia. Spain with their first win of the tournament, and Cape Verde with their second draw came from behind to level 2-2 against Uruguay in Miami. What a game that was. This one hasn't quite hit the same speed, but it hasn't been bad. It's been end-to-end. No real chances yet for Egypt. They've been camped out for long periods of time on the edge of the New Zealand penalty area, but it's Finn Sermon's headed goal. The Welsh-born Portland Timbers man plays his football in the States and in Canada has headed New Zealand into a first-half lead.
Yeah, Egypt haven't really got going because New Zealand have been far better in possession. They've moved the ball a lot quicker. Just has had a couple of shots on target, so Singh's got himself involved. But the most important thing is brilliant delivery from Payne, the New Zealand right back, from the corner on the left-hand side. And when you look at it again, it's Fatu who's actually picking Sermon up, and Sermon does really well. Just gives him a little bump with his shoulder to get away from him. Then as he gets away from Lachine, who is standing in the middle of the 6-yard box, he's not aware of Sermon coming round. He gets in front of Lachine, and it's a brilliantly redirected header. I say, look, New Zealand have actually carried on from the game against Iran. They were very impressed against Iran in possession, moved it really quickly. They've done exactly the same, whereas Egypt is just a little bit sort of clunky when they're trying to keep the ball.
And Egypt, who started so well in that opening draw with Belgium, looked like they were going to hold on to win it. And I'm sure with their goal in that game, nobody's come close to scoring for Egypt so far in this one as the players make their return to the field of play. For Egypt, up next it will be Iran. Saturday, 4 a.m. UK time in Seattle. New Zealand have a trickier prospect against Belgium, and they might go into that game knowing just a point will take them into the top 2. No need to hang around and wait to see if they've cleared the bar for a best placed side finishing third. 25 minutes have gone and we've restarted at BC Place. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0, as an up and under is controlled in the centre circle by New Zealand's Bell. Couldn't find a teammate on the second ball, but it was given away wastefully there by Mustafa Ziko. So here is Just for New Zealand, far side there left, as he goes back into his own half again. It's Joe Bell once more. Now back to Boxall, left-sided centre-back. Goes long up towards Stamanic of Swansea, headed away by Hani. Second ball is New Zealand's. Here's Chris Wood, but it's back to goal in the 18-yard. Teeing it off for Joe Bell, who had a shot, but there were 2 defenders throwing themselves in the way. And now Egypt trying to break. It was Sermon, the goal scorer, who got his foot in and needed to, because if not, it would have found Marmoush, who has picked up the second ball. Now Salah 30 yards out, slipping it forward. Ashore into the penalty area, cuts it onto his right. back out of the box. Marmoush a goal, spilled by the goalkeeper, and he gets to the second ball ahead of Salah. And the defender Kakache was just in the way of Mohamed Salah, who was praying there on the slip, trying to stab the ball into the unguarded portion of the nets. But New Zealand reacting first. First scare for them. They retain their 1-0 lead.
Yes, Egypt's best chance of the game. Just falls to Marmoush at the edge 18-yard box on the left-hand side. Tries to bend it inside Crocombe's far left-hand post. Crocombe in goal, and he's actually got away one there because it was a simple save that he ends up parrying it away. But I just think that Ashur could have got his shot away.
Cross it from New Zealand up towards Chris Wood. Well, it came from nothing, but he can only flick at it, and he skims it wide, well wide in the end of Showbeer's goal. Ball was out wide on the New Zealand left, lofted in high, and then Chris Wood, using all of that imposing frame, he flicked it at goal, and the goalkeeper saw it sail harmlessly wide. Can barely blink in this game. 1-0, New Zealand lead. 27 minutes gone.
Ooh, it's gone to a little bit like NBA, is it? I know their season's just finished, but it has been end to end.
It's the 4 quarters, Perry.
Yeah, that's what's happening. But if you're both like the managers, obviously Hossein Hassan, the Egyptian manager, he'd have been absolutely dying for that hydration break so he could get his team in and get them regrouped, because New Zealand just been sharper. They've been like a yard quicker in and out of possession. Now Egypt say they've been a little bit sort of sluggish, and you can tell that the words that Hossein Hassan has had with his Egyptian team are coming to fruition, because they've got a bit more energy about them since the hydration break.
It is energetic. It is 1-0 to Northampton-born Darren Baisley's side. Egypt wanted a free kick there as Tim Payne came in and followed through a little bit on Imam Ashur. Referee's given a throw into the Kiwis and nothing more. Always a bit of a flashpoint when they're right in front of the technical areas, as that one was. And referee at least conciliatory, helping the Egypt man back to his feet. Scant consolation at the moment for Egypt. As it stands, bottom of the group, New Zealand heading top. Iran and Belgium in between them on 2 points apiece. New Zealand with 4 if it stays like this, and Egypt with a solitary 1 in Group G. Long ball from Crocombe, the goalkeeper doesn't find its man. In fact, it doesn't find any man. It's gone out of play for an Egypt throw far side there, right?
I think Crocombe just thought it was a fly half for a minute playing rugby union, because he's basically just smashed it down the pitch to need New Zealand further up, like out for a line out, because I think he pants a little bit. He could have just rolled it into Bell in midfield, but he didn't want to take that chance. But again, Egypt have the ball in their right back position to throw in. They just give it away completely, just give it away cheaply. So New Zealand haven't had to work hard to try and get the ball back.
Well, New Zealand's is an anthem we're used to hearing more at rugby and cricket World Cups than football. Their third time on the biggest stage, still waiting for that elusive first win. Returning after 16 years as well, and they're giving away a free kick in the centre circle there. Mohamed Salah is incensed. He's not happy. Looked like an innocuous ball, an aerial challenge that went the way of Egypt. I think Salah wanted a card there. Bell it was, I believe, for New Zealand. Either way, Egypt have taken it and have the ball on halfway at 1-0 down. Finn Sermon's goal, the only goal of this game, headed in from a corner as the centre-back Ibrahim comes forward for Egypt down the right. Hani now, clubmate, trying to find Mustafa Ziko, far side right. And the Pyramids man can't be found. Marko Stamenic has come across to stab it into touch. He one of the 2 Wales-based New Zealand players in this side. One in Scotland with Elijah Just, one in England with Chris Wood. And he, along with Liberato Kakache, linking up well on that left-hand side so far. New Zealand making an excellent account of themselves. Egypt starting to get back into this game a little bit, though. If it were boxing, New Zealand would have won the early rounds, no doubt about that. The Egyptians using their jab now a little more. Here is Ashur, 45 yards out from goal. New Zealand half of the field. Can't go any further though up against Sarpreet Singh, and so has to go back into his own territory and switch from left to right. Here is Ibrahim, forward towards the yellow boots of Mohamed Salah. Now 35 yards from goal with his back to it. Tried to slide it along to Ziko, flicked off over his foot, and that's gone out for a New Zealand throw-in. And then 2 of the New Zealand players there with high 10s above their heads. They know they're controlling this game, although they've given it away on the resulting throw. Bell couldn't find Just, and Egypt will have it again in their own half. New Zealand won't mind them having the ball in their own half.
Yeah, it's all in front of New Zealand at the moment. There's a great chance there when Asher got himself on the ball coming from the left-hand side. He could have pinged it out to Honey on the right-hand side. He's pushed further up, playing as basically a right wing-back, and he decided not to, and ended up just giving the ball away again.
Well, here is Hani, far side the Egyptian right. 1-0 down they are. Forward to Asher, edge of the penalty area. Hasn't been able to work his magic yet so far. Mohamed Salah might, but he's stopped as well by Boxall. 37-year-old, became New Zealand's oldest World Cup player last week. And he's cleared that one away against the star of the Premier League over the last several years without any problem. Forward it comes to another one, Marmoush. 18-yard box, couldn't control though. Boxall there again with the clearance. New Zealand have all the answers at the moment. 32 minutes gone. They lead Egypt by a goal to nil. And it's all the way back with Egyptian goalkeeper Shobair.
Yeah, Boxall did really well, and so did Sermon as well, because Omar Marmoush has got really quick feet when he gets on the edge of the 18-yard box, and he's gone to take both of them on. He goes to go inside Sermon, and Sermon just gets like a left leg that he sticks out, just managed to poke the ball away. But since the hydration break, Egypt have been dominating possession. Lachine getting himself just on the ball in that central area.
Asher couldn't control the slip-through ball from Fatou near side the Egypt left, so it's Bell who's able to clear for New Zealand. Claimed the handball with his pass there through to Payne. Referee has let the play go on, and Sarpreet Singh won't be happy with that because he's walked it out of play under pressure from Asher. And a member of Darren Baisley's New Zealand backroom staff. In fact, it's Darren Baisley himself. I didn't expect him to have quite such a broad New Zealand brogue, having been an Englishman, but he was right in the ear there of the fourth official. He's from Peru.
Well, he's come up right through the New Zealand FA, hasn't he? Like in charge of the under-16s, under-17s, under-23s. So, you know, obviously he knows all of these players inside out, and the young talents coming through. And Darren Baisley has got this New Zealand side coached very, very well. They say that their structure's good out of possession, but in possession, they don't try and overcomplicate it.
3 years with the senior national team now, also the under-23s, a man who played for the likes of Wolves and Watford in what's now the Championship. His side defending though, New Zealand. Headed away by Sermon, under pressure from Marmoush, and lost by New Zealand as well. In fact, they've had to dive in and bring down Asher in the 18-yard box. The yellow card's going to come out for Callum McCowart, and there's a free kick here for Egypt in a very promising position, right on the edge of the penalty area. 34th minute of the game. They trail by a goal to nil, but a mistake at the back there from New Zealand.
Yeah, well, what happened there was McCowart just got himself caught underneath the ball as it bounced. He ran underneath it, then had a bit of a panic up and came to Asher. Again, I just think the referee Omar Al-Ali is just too quick to get his yellow card, because he tries to just nick the ball, and in the end he catches Asher first and then follows through, and then he wins the ball. But that isn't a yellow card. I don't know, you get these some referees, you know, want to be all about them. That's not getting a good vibe about the referee, because he's put himself under pressure giving these yellow cards out, because you can bet your life in the second half he'll end up sending somebody off for an innocuous foul.
First ever World Cup game for the referee, Omar Al-Ali of the UAE, and he's given out 3 yellow cards, 2 to New Zealand, 1 to the Egyptians. Remember, 2 yellow cards will count you out of a game at this World Cup, although they're wiped after the group stage. Well, as Egypt wait for this free kick on the edge of the penalty area, New Zealand setting up their wall, level with the penalty spot it is, and Shaw has been told he's too close to it.
I think you're talking Mo Salah territory. There's 4 Egyptian players around the ball, but I can't see any of them.
Well, it doesn't need 4 of them to have left it, and now the layoff towards Mohamed Salah, who puts it just wide of the post. Well, there were 2 dummy runners, and then Marmoush came over the ball, flicked it back, and Mohamed Salah, who whipped it around the wall, and Crocombe gladly watches it sail past his post. It's about a yard wide in the end. It just rippled the back of the side netting, curled it on the left boot, as we're so used to seeing them do. Off target though, and Max Crocombe not tested. 1-0 New Zealand lead, 10 minutes out from half time.
Yeah, it was a clever free kick with Marmoush just rolling his foot.
Well, here's McCowart. He's got down to the byline for New Zealand, but he only had one man, Singh, to aim for in the centre, and he put it in the 18-yard box, and it was only ever going to be cleared away by Egypt. So New Zealand starting afresh in the centre circle. Boxall with no one to pass to, has to go back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, just talking about the free kick. It was really clever with Marmoush. He just rolled his foot over the top of the ball just to change the angle for Mo Salah. Just rolled it more to his left-hand side, and to be fair, Salah didn't really put enough pace on it. He's got to put more whip. He's just tried to place it in Crocombe's top right.
Well, here comes Wood with the through ball. He was looking for Sarpreet Singh, who went down to ground on the edge of the area under the challenge of Yasser Ibrahim. I don't think there was enough in that to constitute a foul, and the referee agrees to. Clever link-up play, neat passing triangles we've seen from New Zealand at this World Cup. Chris Wood looking to set up, as he did in their opening game, that draw against Iran. They lead this one. They led twice in the opening game, though. It's all about seeing it out for a win now. A win that will take them to the cusp of qualification for the next round. Egypt will be well aware of that fact as well. They will need a result against Iran in Seattle on Saturday. They're bottom of the group as it stands, and trying to get their way back into this match. An errant pass has gone the way of New Zealand's bow. Over halfway towards Chris Wood now. Back inside the Kiwi half. 1-0 up they are. And just passing it amongst themselves. No pace to this game at the moment. Defenders are happy to hold the ball. Egypt are starting to press them now with Marmoush. And there wasn't as much time on the ball as before for the right back Payne. And the defenders have had to go long towards Eli. Just a missed clearance though. Picked up by Payne, 30 yards out for New Zealand. Into Chris Wood in the area. Got his back to goal. Defenders all around him. But he was offside just as he laid it off to Sarpreet Singh. A belated flag from the assistant referee. And Chris Wood raising an arm in complaint there. Got himself between the lines. A missed clearance from Ahmed Fatou. And New Zealand thought they were in for a second goal.
That all started because, you said about New Zealand passing the ball across the back. We said it come to Payne, and he didn't have any other thought in his mind about helping it into the channel. He helped it into that right-hand channel. He said then Fatou got himself caught underneath the ball. Unfortunately, New Zealand, Chris Wood just went a little bit too early because they had Singh and just trying to get around him as he was holding the ball up. But so they just went that little bit too early. But all that is so we said about mixing it up. New Zealand ain't frightened, just to put it in behind the Egyptian back four and get them turned.
38 minutes gone. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0 on TalkSport as Kakache bundles forward. He's already halfway through the Egypt half. Picks out Singh, corner of the area. Goes away from goal towards just that diminutive but deceptively strong figure. Out to the left again for Sarpreet Singh, crossing towards Chris Wood, who got up with the goalkeeper, who punched it well into the air and then caught it at the second time of asking on the gather, and then drills a punt downfield for Marmoush to chase. He might get there here, Marmoush. He's got in between the defender and the goalkeeper, and Sermon had to wrestle with him to keep control of the ball, and he gets a warm reception, the Minnesota defender, from the New Zealand fans in the crowd. That was dangerous there for the moment. 39 gone now, New Zealand 1-0 up.
Yeah, again, just a little example of the end-to-end nature of the game, because Karkashay gets his cross in from the left-hand side of New Zealand. Shobir does really well because he knows that Chris Wood is going to win the header, comes over top of him, then just clears it very, very quickly. It looks like Marmoush is going to get in behind Sermon. Crocombe actually comes too close to Sermon, where he should be just easing off him a little bit so Sermon can head the ball back to him. Lucky enough, Sermon just made sure that he read the bounce of the ball and was able to deal with it.
This one bouncing in New Zealand's direction at the moment, though their long ball was errant from Stamenic. He's played it all the way downfield and straight to Egypt's green-clad goalkeeper. Had to react a moment ago against Chris Wood's opportunity for a header, and he's the only goalkeeper to be beaten in this game so far. 1-0, New Zealand leads. Sermon the scorer. As we've got a momentary break in play here, an Egyptian player is down.
I think
it's Handy Fatty.
Yeah, I think he's struggling. He just signalled over to the bench that I think he was struggling with his hamstring, or he might have landed awkwardly on his knee when he challenged Chris Wood when the ball came in from that left-hand side from Singh, where Shobir just comes over the top of him, and straight away he knew he was in a little bit of trouble.
Well, he's a centre-back, plays on the left side. The man of Al Wakra in the Qatari Stars League. Masses of national team experience. This is his 66th Egypt appearance. So he'd be a big miss. He played all but the final minutes of the opener. And as his goalkeeper had the ball, you saw him go down on his haunches first and then into a sitting position. And he's up now. The ball was put out of play by Shobir, the goalkeeper, who comes across to applaud him. And then emotions for the Egyptian fans to applaud him too. It's very clear that his game is done, and he will hope his World Cup isn't done as well. Egypt have lost a veteran defender, and they're going to be forced into an early change. Rami Rabia who plays in the United Arab Emirates for Al Ain. Only played 20 minutes in the opening game. He's going to be on now for the remaining 5 minutes of this first half.
Yeah, just looking at Fatty's face, he just looked really despondent, didn't he, as he was walking off. I think that's his World Cup done.
I think he knows.
Just tell, exactly.
And Rami Rabia will fill into that left centre-back berth. The man that reportedly Steve Bruce tried to sign for Hull City, once reportedly eyed up by Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund. 33 years now, just shy of his 50th cap. Thrown in for much longer than his manager Hossam Hassan will have wanted to. As Egypt starters again down the left-hand side. 1-0 down they are. Finn Sermon's goal. Being 15 minutes into this game from a corner. And New Zealand, while their control is loosening on this game, it still doesn't feel as if they're being threatened as they stop for an offside in the centre circle against Chris Wood.
Yes.
Here come Egypt down the right-hand side. Sorry, Perry.
Got and called himself offside again. And someone who isn't renowned for his pace, that's just a little bit lazy for someone who's experienced what he is, where you make sure, obviously, you just look across the line.
Well, here comes Ashur, left-hand side for Egypt, 1-2 with Ahmed Fatou, who was clattered into and sent down to ground by Tim Payne. Free kick it will be for the Egyptians near side, their left, about 30 yards from the corner flag, 10 in from the touchline, and another chance to put a ball into a penalty area. Ashur standing over it, and Max Crocombe, who fumbled. The only real effort on goal in the game from Egypt is setting his wall of two men on the corner of the box. Chance here for Egypt from the dead ball. We've seen one goal at the other end from a set play so far. Swung in, heads go up from either side, defensive header wins out, and then Eli just is there in the 18-yard box to get there ahead of the Egyptian midfielder Atia. And back into the Egypt defensive line it goes, 1-0 to New Zealand.
There's another bonus of having Chris Wood in your side. We know that he can hold it up. We know that he's a really good finisher as well. But getting back, helping out his defence. If you're Sermon and Boxall, the two New Zealand centre halves, you'd be delighted that he comes back and just plonks himself right on the edge of 6-yard box. They go zone across the 6-yard box. He's the one who attacks it, does his defensive duties. It just looks like New Zealand have just got a little bit passive, just trying to get themselves into half-time, making sure they keep hold of this 1-0 lead.
And here come Egypt now, trying to threaten that 1-0 lead. There's going to be a free kick on the corner of the area here with Marmoush foul, and he's down in some pain. The Man City man is slapping the ground in pain.
That means he's not hurt. If you're rolling about and you're slapping the ground, it means you're not hurt.
Well, I wonder if he maybe hadn't made the gesticulations, whether the quick free kick might have been allowed there, because his teammates tried to move a quick ball down the left-hand channel. He was fouled by Bell, who's had a couple now, and I think will be the next recipient of a yellow card. But a free kick it will be. Almost the same blade of grass from which the previous one was headed away by Chris Wood. It's on the diagonal, 35 yards out, left corner of the area. This one was played short and then lost by Zico. New Zealand clear again. We're into the final minutes of first half normal time, and the Kiwis lead by a goal to nil.
If you're Ibrahim and Rabia, the two centre halves of Egypt, you'd be absolutely fuming, because you run all the way up like 50-60 yards and they decide to be clever.
Well, here comes Ashur with a cross. No one in the penalty area for him though. He's put it too deep and out of play anyway. So not a good cross there by Emam Ashur. But is that a case of the striker's not gambling on it as well? I couldn't help but feel for him. He's used so much pace to get to the corner flag, whipped in the ball. Okay, it wasn't a great one. No red shirt anywhere near the drop zone.
Yeah, I think what it is, so they're just running out of ideas at the moment, Egypt. And obviously their talisman, Mo Salah, hasn't really had an impact on the game, playing in their 10 position, not getting the ball into him. And then what'll happen is he'll start drifting and drop a little bit deeper. And even if he does, you've got likes of Bell and Stamanic are the ones who, looking to pick him up. And just when you're looking at both sides, you'd say that New Zealand just looked more assured, didn't they? Look more structured. We said about the brilliant coaching of Darren Bazley, the New Zealand coach.
As we enter 4 minutes of added time, New Zealand 1 up but defending now, because forward comes Hani of Egypt. Up to the corner of the area, Zico is trying to cross it, only found Stamanic of New Zealand, who clears on the left boot, and out for a throw to Egypt, which is taken quickly, but 20 yards closer to the corner flag than from where the ball exited the field of play. It's not been picked up, and New Zealand have been happy to play on as well, as Hani on the right hand side, crossing ahead of Ashur, got his left boot to it, put it wide. And the goal scorer from match day 1 cannot repeat the feat at the end of the first half. Crossed into the 6-yard box. He was there, got between the defenders, stuck out a left boot, but it hit him at an awkward angle, and it trickles away for a dead ball. New Zealand still lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, that's Egypt's best chance of the half. Brilliant play from Zico on that right hand side. Just make sure he whips it across 6-yard box. Ashur makes sure that he can see Boxall's number. Just drifts in between Boxall and Sermon. He's on the full stretch. To be fair, Sermon is one who just puts on that little bit of pressure. He can't get contact with it.
And that pressure still coming then from the boots of Egypt. Still can't find the goal to level up this game. They've conceded a throw-in 20 yards inside their own territory to Elijah Just. And the Motherwell man now with the ball above his head, stealing a few yards there on the left side New Zealand flank. Throw wasn't a great one though, cleared by Hani towards halfway. Mohamed Salah, he pinches it off Bell in the aerial challenge, switches it from right to Egypt left. Forward, over halfway comes Marwan Atia, over his shoulder arriving as the left back Fatou. 2 or 4 minutes of added time have elapsed. Fatou again now, Marmoush, corner of the box, tried to play it first time into Ashur but was crowded out by 2 white shirted New Zealand players. And back to Croker McGoes in goal, who stands with the ball between his feet, waiting for Marmoush to pressure, and will now pick it up. 1-0 New Zealand still. Egypt have never been behind in any of their previous 8 World Cup games at half-time, and unless they can find something in the last 90 seconds, that record is going to slip.
Yep, this is Marmoush again at the edge of the 18-yard box trying to play in Ashur. He thinks that Ashur is going to spin. He doesn't just stand still, tries to be the wall. Again, Egypt run about ideas in the attacking third.
As Egypt have to clear under onslaught from New Zealand. Long time since we've said that. The pressure definitely going towards Egypt now as Sermon fouls Atia just inside the Egypt half. Egypt playing it quickly but backwards with a minute of the half remaining.
You can see the frustration now with Marmoush. He's just like berating his 2 midfield players, Lashin and Atia, that he's saying to him he wants to service a bit quicker. But to be fair, when he's had the ball at his feet, he's been very, very cheap in possession. He's given it away too early. I'll give you my inane stat for New Zealand after this attack from Egypt.
Well, here come Egypt with Hani, and he clearly wants to hear your stat, Perry, because he's lost the ball, and then it's been played off him by Elijah Just, and it's going to be a New Zealand throw-in. 1-0 they lead.
For New Zealand, the score at half-time remained the same at full-time in all 7 of their World Cup games.
Well, that would bring them their first ever World Cup win. Drew all 3 last time out. Started with a draw in North America this time around. 20 seconds left of added time, but Elijah Just, who has been ticking for them well on the left side, has ticked over the white line. And Egypt have a throw with just seconds remaining. Maybe a chance to lump one more ball forward. A goal to find from somewhere. Here's Ashur near side the Egyptian left. Using Fatou. Left back plays it to Atia in central midfield, but they've been too conservative. They've run out of time, and the Emirati referee whistles and points to the centre circle. Half time in this game in Group G. All the games so far have been draws, but New Zealand and their English coach Darren Paisley are ahead in this one. A goal on the quarter hour from Finn Sermon, heading in from the corner, whipped in by Tim Payne. Powerful and well placed. It's New Zealand 1, Egypt 0 at half time. Thank you, Ollie. 1-0, New Zealand lead Egypt at half-time. It's the Egyptians who are all back out and ready to start us again at the end of the countdown. In their red shirts, black shorts and black socks, kicking from left to right as we look at it in this second period, and needing to peel themselves off the bottom of the group. Group G, which saw another draw between Iran and Belgium earlier on. And it can be hard in these World Cups, can't it, to know who to support in the less fancied nations. I tell you what though, any Scotland fans who are joining us in the small hours of the morning, you'll be hoping for a draw from this game, because if all teams are on 2 points at the end of 2 rounds of games, that will mean that the third place team can only get a maximum of 3, which will benefit Scotland in trying to get one of those best third place places. Crossing from Egypt in towards Salah, who couldn't get his feet sorted, and away by Sermon in the New Zealand defence. A quick ball down the line that set that up. Cross wasn't bad towards Salah, but he never really looked favourite given there were so many white shirted defenders around him. Tried to get in between the lines. Marmoush did well to get out of the way, but it's a comfortable block in the end by Sermon, and the goalkeeper bowls it out. I'll go for the teams. It's Crocombe in net for New Zealand. Payne, Sermon, Boxall, Cacace at the back. Bell, Singh and Stamanic in midfield. Just Wood and McCowett leading the line. Egypt coming forward with Ashore on their far side left. They've made a quick start to this second half. Attia, corner of the area, crossing, and Boxall heads away. It's taken out of the air by Omar Marmoush, who's fouled 35 yards out, and a central free kick will whistle through their team. Shobair, the goalkeeper, Fatu, Rabia, a first half injury replacement, Ibrahim and Hani the back four, Lachine, Salah and Attia in midfield, Salah in that 10 role, and Shaw, Marmoush and Zico up front. Perry Gross.
Yeah, we just had an incident there with Egypt in the final third where Ashur had it on the left hand side. He can cross it with his right foot, then he checks onto his left. He can cross it left, then he checks back onto his right. What then enables New Zealand to do, Sermon and Boxall, is the two centre-halves just push out a bit further.
Dummy from the free kick and then shot well wide. It's disappointing from Egypt. Marmoush it was. And just as the New Zealand wall started to fragment on the edge of the penalty area, he put power behind it, but it was always going away from goal, really. And so a goal kick for New Zealand, who lead 1-0. 2 minutes gone on Talk Sport in the second half. BC Place in Vancouver as we look to wrap up the second round of matches in Group G. New Zealand topping that group as it stands. They'll clear with Cacace looking to go up over halfway. Hits an Egypt man though. It's taken down by Zico, playing on the right hand side of the front three. Flicks it over the head of Mohamed Salah in the end, and New Zealand put it out for a throw in right on the half. We're expecting a response from Egypt this side of half time, and the initial signs, well, for their manager Hossam Hassan, are good ones.
Yep, they've just started off a lot sharper. Beginning the second half did the start of the game. They're the ones that are starting to boss possession, with New Zealand just sitting that little bit deeper. We're just looking at sort of the movement of Mo Salah, who's playing in the centre forward just at the moment. They're just struggling to get him on the ball enough, to be able to have an impact on the game.
Well, Salah had a foot in making that challenge, and Egypt won their side there right. He tried to flick it behind him and find Hani, but the referee, after consulting with his assistant, has given a free kick to New Zealand. Must be for the trailing leg in the challenge. Zico it was actually who made the contact on Cacace, and so New Zealand with a free kick in the left back position. You're right though, Perry. Mohamed Salah has moved forward into a more advanced role, so I'm struggling to get into the game. In the first half, we've seen some of the marquee names really shine in this tournament so far. Lionel Messi being one of them. Kylian Mbappe too. Saw a first goal for Lamine Yamal earlier on. Here come Egypt, 25 yards out. Shot from Zico, blocked by the defender, and Cacace on the corner of his area, heading out into touch. Relative safety, just a throw. New Zealand one up but under pressure 4 minutes into the second half.
That's exactly where you want Mo Salah.
Oh, here's a Shaw 25 yards out. Fancy to go, left-footed, and a weak and tame, and ultimately off-target shot. He rotated into a central position, got a shot away on the left, never really connected.
Yeah, Ashur and Zico have a little swap. Ashur's come onto the right-hand side, Zico's gone over to the left, and just a little bit earlier the ball was just rolled into Mo Salah. It was a great little flick around the corner. He's got himself side on, just flicked it into Zico. Zico tries to get a shot away. To be fair, New Zealand get the block in.
Forward by Salah. Marmoush coming forward for Egypt now. Corner of the box once more. His shot was straight at the defender. Tim Payne it was. Egypt holding the ball for most of the 5 minutes we've had in this second half. Still need to find their goal though. Have it far side there left with Fatu. His cross blocked at source. For a throw it goes for Egypt, and taken back towards halfway. They've been sent back there a number of times. Every attack so far has been repelled. Qualified unbeaten from their 10 games in African qualifying. Top the group comfortably. Nothing comfortable about this game so far though. Left side across from Fatu in towards Zico. Couldn't find him. Defenders there again. And McCowett halfway inside his own territory. Finds Sarpreet Singh. And then Elijah just dropping deeper to try and help the All Whites play out of trouble, but they're giving it away again. Halfway inside their own half of the field. Emma Ashur implored to shoot by the Egyptian fans, and he might have been better served that time. He chose to run the ball at Stamanic, who got a foot in and blocked. New Zealand clearing at 1-0 up inside the 51st minute on Talk Sport. Oh, Just has read the ball well. 30 yards out from goal. He's the only New Zealand player for miles around. He dealt with the ball better than Lachine did of Egypt. Lachine looked to have fouled him, just went down. The clearance was only a half clearance in the end because Kakache's picked it up the second time, though Egypt have more bodies back. They wanted a free kick, and there's a dismissive arm thrown by Mohamed Lachine towards the referee. He's got to be careful. He's on a yellow card. He's got to be careful too because Kakache's coming forward. Left hand side for New Zealand, and it is Lachine who gets across with his bandaged left arm and executes a firm tackle out for a New Zealand throw.
What was Elijah just doing there? Because he did really well initially because he just robbed Lachine of possession, ended up getting away from him.
The ball goes in from Stamanic into the penalty area, flicked header but tips over the bar. Callum McCowan it was, and that could very easily have been 2-0 New Zealand. Floated in from deep, just it was who looked like the initial man he was going to get onto it, but Stamanic with the cross, and McCallum got in behind the defender, flicked it off the back of his head, and it's a good save by Showbeer on the fingertip.
It's a really, really clever header from McCallum, just coming in for that right hand side in the centre forward position. Great ball from Stamanic, just arrows it in, just pings it onto the top of his head. Showbeer looks like he's going to come out, he decides to stay. McCallum just tried to head it over him. Really good save from the Egyptian goalkeeper. Goes out for a corner for New Zealand on their left hand side.
The same wing from which they scored from a corner in the first half, and it's the same man to deliver it. Tim Payne, become a social media star ahead of this World Cup. In he swings it, goalkeeper came for it and clubbed at it and got it away. Sent back into the penalty area. Oh, they're all battling for it, and Boxall thought he got there. Chris Wood ended up on his backside. So does the Egyptian goalkeeper, who tumbles and then rights himself quickly to clear. In fact, there's no advantage. I think the referee has said he's gone back to a free kick and a foul, I think, on the goalkeeper, as he tried to drill it long but only found defenders in white. And Chris Wood, well, he's got a few words of polite conversation there aimed at the referee. But still, New Zealand, with their first bit of pressure they've exerted on Egypt in this second half. Good save by Showbeer to force the corner, and a good punch from the same man to clear what came after. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0. 53 minutes gone. Forward come Egypt with the ball over the top towards Mohamed Salah. Left side of the penalty area, goes for a ground cross, wasn't on though, and Sermon has his easiest clearance of the match and pumps it out for an Egypt throw 40 yards away from goal. Here's Ashul back to goal, wearing those pink boots that so many at the World Cup have been supplied with by the various sportswear brands. It's something to do with them showing up on highlight reels against the green of the pitch, or so I'm told. Not much to shout about so far though on this pitch for Egypt, as dropping deeper and deeper is Mohamed Salah. He's come back almost into that 10 role to try and start something.
Yeah, so he was just playing a little bit further forward initially, up front level with Mamouche, but obviously just trying to get himself involved in the game. With the pink boots, you think it helps the automated offsides as well?
Well, maybe. Can't miss them, can you?
I wasn't good enough to wear pink boots.
And here comes the overlap from Egypt, crossed into the area for Zico, shot at the defender. A few Egypt players look like they're claiming handball. It's cleared again by the All Whites. New Zealand have their lead intact at 1-0. Here comes Singon halfway for them. Left-footed crossfield ball, looking for Chris Wood, who takes it down expertly on the top of his chest. And back towards halfway for Kakache. Wrexham man tried a 1-2, it didn't come off on the return ball from Wood. And Egypt recycle the ball, but all the way back downfield, trailing 1-0 in this Group G game as it stands. Bottom of the group with a negative goal difference and just 1 point.
It's really good defending from New Zealand, especially Sermon, because good link-up play down the left-hand side from Egypt with Fatou getting his cross in. Zico thinks that he's got the equaliser. To be fair to Sermon, he puts his body on the line, gets the block, and you wouldn't think the way that New Zealand defend at the moment.
Well, crossfield ball here for Egypt, and Hani's kept it alive. Has he? Well, he kept it alive and then put the cross out of play. Always stretching, really. Saw the same from him in the first half, and couldn't hook it back towards the red shirts that were just beginning to assemble. So it's still 1-0 New Zealand, ranked 85th in the world, the lowest at the finals. It's probably more to do with the quality of opposition they face in the Oceania qualification than anything, as Chris Wood tries to nod it into the path of Singh in the attacking third. The goalkeeper raced off his line and cleared without too much trouble as Salah comes up against the wall that is Michael Boxall.
There's a difference in Mo Salah there, you could just tell there, because 18 months ago, as the ball was played down the right hand side for Egypt, and Salah's after it. He gets a little touch to it and he gets himself away from Boxall, but there Boxall just thought, actually, you're not going past me, and is able to actually backheel it out of play.
And Boxall, who did just whip it out of play, is probably the only man on the pitch who's older than Mohamed Salah. He's 37. Wife's a nutritionist, apparently. Credit to her for keeping his career alive so long. His side defending once again, and it's his defensive teammate Kakache to block the cross from Hani. Out for a corner this time, though. New Zealand coming under increased pressure, but still really waiting to have a chance, but it really looks like Egypt will score. The Pharaohs, as they're known, taking a 1-2 from this corner. Marwan Attia has his cross blocked out of play. Behind that was Eli Just. Egypt starting again. 7 players lined up on the edge of the penalty area. The ball's dropped back to the line behind them, with Lachine trying to service them. Plenty of bodies to aim for if they can find a cross. Left side of the area they are. Lachine it is. Right foot of pass backwards away up the line. 1-0 New Zealand lead in Vancouver after 57 minutes. This is Ibrahim lofting the ball over the top, looking for Rami Rabia. It's a defensive header away from Boxall, back in from Salah, but too close to the goalkeeper. Tried to drill it with the outside of his foot, but it was always swerving favourably for Max Crocombe of Millwall. And in fluorescent yellow, he boots out on the right foot, over halfway and over the touchline as well. It's a good 40-20 attempt if you're a rugby league fan.
I think that's about the 5th time that Crocombe's actually hit the ball out of play. He's did it 4 times in the first half, where he's got the ball at his feet and he's tried to drill it into Chris Wood. There he's tried to do the hitch kick volley, so he's just smashed it out of play. New Zealand got to be very careful. They're not defending at the moment like a team that conceded in their last 12 internationals, but they're just going a little bit passive. They're just starting to drop that little bit deeper, where Egypt are dominating possession.
And they're coming forward again, Egypt. It's picked up by Ashore, 30 yards out, facing away from goal. Forward by Attia from a central position. Now then the right hand side, the cross from Fati, headed a goal and in. Mustafa Ziko. Header was central, goalkeeper should have done better. Crocombe could only claw at it, got something on it, couldn't keep it out, and Egypt have found their leveller. 58 minutes gone, Mustafa Ziko the scorer. It's New Zealand 1, Egypt 1.
That's what we said. They're just been just that too deep. New Zealand, it's really poor goalkeeping from Crocombe. He'll be disappointed because Ziko is unmarked, 7 yards out. He gets a good head up, but it's right down the middle of the goal. Crocombe should be saving it. He should be just tipping it over the crossbar. The camera pans to Darren Basley, the New Zealand coach. You can tell his disappointment, but you have to say it's because New Zealand have gone far too passive. Really good cross from Hani from the right hand side. Comes to Crocombe, and actually Crocombe with his left palm, he actually palms it back across himself into the back of the net. It's really, really poor goalkeeping. That's a standard save for a goalkeeper of decent level, which Crocombe is. But obviously Egypt won't worry about that because it's a good cross from Hani, a decent header from Ziko, put himself back in it at 1-1.
And you could see the despair writ large on the face of Max Crocombe. Left hand went for it, and it comes off his wrist. If anything, he's just flattened it. It was a routine save. It was hit quickly, but it was right at him. He was always favourite. But as you say, Perry, Egypt will not care. They've got themselves level. They led and were paid back in the first game. In this game, it's the opposite way round. But once again, for the 3rd time in this World Cup, New Zealand haven't been able to hold on to a lead. And they're coming under more pressure here from Ashore. 25 yards out. Plays it down the right-hand side for Fati. Back into the area for Salah. Can't turn and get the ball away. And forced away from goal by the defensive clearance. Justice sending the ball long up towards McCowd, who takes it down on his forehead and now takes the chase to Rabia. 3 defenders around him and ends up prodding it out of play, and he's managed to play it off a defender too. Good play there from the Silkeborg man, McCowitz. And New Zealand have a throw-in at 1-1 in this game just after the hour.
Yeah, you have to say that the goal was coming, because they just went far too passive, New Zealand. In the first half there was a threat going forward. This second half they haven't really been a threat at all. They've conceded possession, haven't been closing down as sharp as was in that first half. But Crocombe will be really, really disappointed because it's an easy tip over. So he's actually just palmed it back into his net.
Well, we're awaiting a throw-in to Egypt halfway inside their own half. They thought there might be a free kick there for New Zealand. Michael Boxall went down and has had some choice words there with the referee, as Egypt now in a spring in their step for sure, have it on the left-hand side of their defence with Ahmed Fatou. 1-1, just a third goal I should say, in just 4 caps from Mustafa Zico. Quite the goal record the man who plays for Pyramids and Cairo is having, and there's a foul on Mohamed Hani on the edge of the attacking third for Egypt, and it's getting better and better now as Kakacha, the guilty party, steps away from the scene of the crime, and Emmanuel Shaw is getting ready to put another ball into the penalty area. And if you've seen that mistake as an Egypt player from the Kiwi goalkeeper Crocombe, surely you're going to be peppering him now. In fact, they've gone short as well. Actually has played it into the area, and there's an Egypt man down in the penalty box. I think we're going to go back to a restart of the free kick because Chris Wood is down as well, tangling with Rabia. It was all happening there in front of the referee. It should just be a retake of the free kick at 1-1.
Again, it's just a really strange free kick from Egypt because Mohamed Salah's got the ball on that right hand side. It looks like he's whipping with his left foot. He actually plays it in centrally, so then it's a worse angle because you're just trying to hit the ball a little bit straighter.
Well, taken again, and now we're going to have another free kick, but this one in the penalty area for New Zealand. And actually looking at the previous passage of play, I thought there should have been a free kick for the foul on Chris Wood initially from Rabia. It is Rabia who's fouled. He didn't learn his lesson, and so that anticlimax you often see, a defensive free kick from an attacking one. 62 gone on TalkSport. Hydration break around 5 minutes away. New Zealand 1, Egypt 1. The North African side having brought the game back after conceding after 15 minutes. It's Sermon, the goal scorer for New Zealand, trying to walk it out from the back, up towards halfway for McCowett. Back into Stamenic, having to make do with passing it inside their own half at the moment. Darren Baisley's man. Right hand side it goes, still all whites in possession. Tim Payne it is, even his boots are white, as he rolls it to Stamenic. And then left-sided centre-back is Boxall, but he sees Ashur of Egypt arriving in his red shirt. And so the two centre-halves for New Zealand will trade passes of the ball. They've benefited from the new format, New Zealand. Missed out in the last 3 World Cups, having failed in the Intercontinental playoff. Never had any problem winning the Oceania Confederation qualification, but this time there is one direct slot rather than that playoff spot. And they're still now looking to break their duck and get their first win. Led in this game already. 1-1 now with Payne, 30 yards from the corner flag as New Zealand attack. Back towards halfway it goes. New Zealand can't seem to find a way through at the moment.
No, they've got a low block on Egypt, just trying to strangle New Zealand. It's the best little passing sequence they've had in this second half, just coming up to 64 minutes play. But just looking at the goal for Egypt from Zico, the reason that Zico's happened is because Marmoush, there's a little tweak from the Egyptian manager Hossein Hassan, where he's put Marmoush out on the left-hand side. Zico's gone more central, and that's actually where he scored his goal from, on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Oh, Stamenic is trying one from range, 40 yards out there, slammed straight into a defender, and now Egypt might be on the break down the other end. Marmoush forward, playing it into the channel for Mohamed Salah. Boxall, the defender, has gone with him. 1-1 in this game, 26 minutes remaining. Egypt's now hitting their stride. Zico thought about a shot from distance. He's already got 1 goal, but that one peters out in the end. He opted to pass it towards Mohamed Salah. Defensive block in, and it rolls to the feet of Crocombe. It's going Egypt's way, slowly, but perhaps surely. Every side in this group currently on 2 points. So it's New Zealand top, having scored 3 goals. Egypt and Iran have exactly the same record, and Belgium, having scored just the 1, having been favourites, find themselves bottom of the group.
And when was the last time in a World Cup group you saw all 4 teams with exactly the same goal difference of 0?
I mean, if it's happened, it happened before my time. Or maybe even before yours.
Well, my time, there wasn't even groups. It was all knockout stages.
You were born just before the 66 World Cup, weren't you?
Just.
New Zealand making a change. McCowett is going to come off. Looked sprightly on the wing, and he is replaced by Ben Old, who plays for Saint-Etienne in the second tier in France. His club lost the promotion final to Nice last month, just before he set off for the World Cup. Real talent, but hasn't really established himself in the national team. Here comes Salah for Egypt. Got men arriving over his left shoulder. It's Marmoush, comes into the area. New Zealand defender goes down. Bell, having cleared the ball away. And they're going to try and mount a counter down the other end now. Here is Just cutting in from the right-hand side. Played his pass ahead of Chris Wood, though. And the Egypt defence clears without any problem. 1-1 on TalkSport. New Zealand coming forward again. Cross towards Chris Wood, who couldn't get higher than the goalkeeper. And Mustafa Chaubert looks like a man who's done his homework into the Nottingham Forest striker. Tracked his run all the way there, and with two outstretched arms, he clutches it surely. Yeah. 66 gone, 1-1.
Really good goalkeeping from Chaubert, because Payne on the right-hand side for New Zealand just eases the ball to the far post of Chris Wood. So Chaubert as a centre-half for your Ibrahim and Rabia, that's exactly what you want to see out the corner of your eye, that your goalkeeper's coming and just going to claim the ball, just takes the pressure off.
New Zealand trying to resettle the balance a little bit here in this game. Starting to go away from them. They've managed to get it forward here. And then, there's a white shirt down in a heap on the near side left. I think it's Ben Old who's gone down. Yes, the man who's just come on and taken up that wing berth. Wanted a free kick, only Egypt thrown was given. And Egypt have got it down the other end of the field. Here comes Salah. Corner of the box. Wants the 1-2. Mohamed Salah! And he puts Egypt into the lead. Well, we've been waiting for him to show up in this game, and there's his touch of sparkle, his touch of class. Egypt have come from behind, and it was all from Mohamed Salah. Picked the ball up on the edge of the area, a little 1-2, got it back, open at the shot on the left foot, and rolls it under the goalkeeper.
Well, we said about the big hitters coming to the party. Welcome Mo Salah. You cannot afford to give a player of his quality that amount of time. We said about him dropping in that 10 position. Plays a great little give and go with the outside of his left foot. And who'd have thought it, gets it back onto his left foot and gives Crocombe absolutely no chance. Low down to his right hand side. Just so Mo Salah, just a link up play with Zico. Zico gives it to Mo Salah. Mo Salah with the outside of his left foot back to Zico. Little layoff. Mo Salah just hits it. First time with the instep of his left foot, gives Crocombe absolutely no chance. Low down to his right hand side. Brilliantly crafted goal, and that's exactly what you want. If you're Egypt fans, your Egypt players, you want Mo Salah to step up. It's exactly what he's done to put Egypt 2-1 up here against New Zealand.
A goal that Egypt were desperate for. New Zealand boss Paisley shakes his head as the Egyptian players, some of them pointing to the sky. Their boss is calling for calm. I think we're going to have the hydration break here, because a flare or a smoke flare or something like that has been lit on the other side of the stadium. There's a big cloud of smoke among the red shirts, the Egyptian fans who are out in number and celebrating now. In fact, we're going to play on for a moment. We're not going to take the hydration break just yet. We're in the 69th minute. It is New Zealand 1, Egypt 2, and Mohamed Salah has arrived at this World Cup.
Well, it's brilliant play from Salah and Zico, but again, you have to give credit to Hossam Hassan, the Egypt coach, because he's the one who changed Zico and put him more centrally with Mo Salah. And it was Zico picks it up first, rolled it out to Mo Salah on the right hand side. Mo Salah, then Zico just carried on his run into the 18-yard box. Salah just plays at the outside of his left foot. Zico lays it off. And how many times have we seen Mo Salah, that finish? Very Lionel Messi-esque, isn't it, with his left foot? There was no way that he wasn't going to score.
Well, it has been quite the furore that has popped around BC Place in the last few minutes. Egypt fans know that their promise has been delivered upon. And now, with 20 minutes to go, can they help themselves even more? Draws up to this point in the group. Belgium 1, Belgium 0, Iran 0, I should say, earlier on. Which means that now Egypt at the top of the group on 4 points, New Zealand bottom on 1. The exact reversal of what we saw earlier on, and it's critical now for New Zealand, who face Belgium next, again in Vancouver on Saturday morning. 20 to go. Egypt just passing it around the back at the moment as well. Happy to keep it in the defence for now. And New Zealand were momentarily down to 10 there, because Ben Old had to pop off the field. He's only just come on. He's now come back on. I don't know if there was a problem with his equipment, but New Zealand were a man light in attack for a minute or so there. Egypt are prepping changes. They've got a long ball forward from Salah up towards Marmoush, but it's skittered away after turf towards the goalkeeper, and a simple take in the end for Crocombe. Egypt with a 2-1 advantage in this game.
Cameron, this is why we love football, because the first 25 minutes, New Zealand were the dominant side of the game, looked like on a different level to Egypt, and Egypt to gradually work their way back into the game, a couple of tactical tweaks, and New Zealand lost their belief in this second half.
And they have to believe they can keep the ball out here for further goals, because Mohamed Hani's cross, well, it did reach Crocombe in the end, the goalkeeper, but it looked dangerous when he hit it, and they've given the ball away again, New Zealand. 30 yards out, it's Egypt coming forward, crossing towards the penalty area where Salah was waiting at 2-1 Egypt. Couldn't find him though. Kakache who got it. Clearance is poor, and Egypt pick the ball up again. 25 yards out from goal. Salah drills it into the 18-yard box where Marmoush goes down, and the referee was right behind it and said there was nothing wrong with the tackle from Tim Payne. It's Payne who runs it out of defence. Here's Old now, halfway inside the Egyptian half. No way forward for Sarpreet Singh. He ran flush into the body of Yasser Ibrahim, and Ibrahim will start again for Egypt near side there, right. Ball into the feet of Zico on halfway, couldn't control. Out for an Egypt throw though. What a game Zico is having. Only his 4th game in an Egypt shirt, got a goal and an assist.
Yeah, so he's looked more comfortable since he's gone in that central area. Just now going for our second hydration break, and this is going to suit Darren Baisley, the New Zealand coach, a lot more than Wasim Hussein, the Egyptian coach, because all the momentum was with Egypt, you know, so they've dragged themselves back into the game, so they kept knocking on the door. But I have to say, it's because like New Zealand just went far too passive, you know, they gave the ball away very, very cheaply, and that you sit deep and in the end you invite the pressure on yourselves, then you're putting pressure on individuals not to make mistakes. And it's exactly what happened for Zico's goal for the equaliser, where it's a good cross from Hani from that right hand side, but Crocombe, he saves that 99 times out of 100. He just tips it over the crossbar, ends up palming his own net, and then New Zealand have got the wind in their sails. Egypt got the wind in their sails, and this is going to be a really important 3 minutes for Darren Baisley, the New Zealand coach, because he's got to try and find some inspiration from somewhere, because it's not coming from his players on the pitch at the moment.
Well, that equalising goal was the turning point. Both managers now in a huddle with their teams, trying to instill some belief, pass on the last bit of tactical information they'll be able to get out there. This is our final game of the 4 and another day of World Cup action, but it starts again tomorrow, or today for you in the UK, today for UK time, listeners. Argentina versus Austria starts 6 p.m. UK time on TalkSport in Group J. They both won their opener. And then France versus Iraq, 10 p.m. on TalkSport. That's in Group I. France, one of the favourites. Iraq looking for their first points in Philadelphia. 1 a.m. Norway versus Senegal, also on TalkSport. That's in the same group as France. Norway looking to seal their progression after an opening win over Iraq. And Senegal made a good account of themselves over France. That's in New York. And then 4 a.m. I'll be with you again, actually. First half on TalkSport. And then on TalkSport 2 after it, Jordan versus Algeria. That's in Argentina's group. Both lost their first game, so eyeing up second and third in San Francisco. And then, of course, England on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. on TalkSport against Ghana. As we look forward as well to Wednesday with Scotland taking on Brazil. 16 and a half minutes to go. We're still in the hydration break for the moment, though. These teams, I guess we could say they've had one apiece that suited them. First broke up the rhythm after the New Zealand goal. This one has broken up the rhythm after Egypt have turned the game around and taken the lead. Still waiting for the Egyptians to retake the field. A good sign if you're a New Zealand supporter is the fact that the All Whites are already back on the field and in position.
Yeah, well, they've got to get... I said they was like giving the ball away cheaply, but in that first 25 minutes of the first half, they're closing down. It was very energetic, and they were stopping Egypt getting into any rhythm. But in the second half, they've got back to what we call now the low block, like the 4-4-2, but they're not actually going and engaging the ball. They're letting Egypt get in a rhythm, and the passing movement's going with Atia and Lachine, and in the end you could tell that the goal was coming.
Well, here comes a substitution. Both sides are actually making changes. Trezeguet, formerly of Aston Villa, the left-sider, is going to come on for the Egyptians. With him, Hamza Abdul Karim, who's now in the books of Barcelona, the young striker. We're seeing Singh and Kakache head off first, though, for New Zealand. It's Jesse Randall, left winger, and Ryan Thomas, defensive midfielder, making their way in. Here come the Egyptian changes. And it's like Marmoush, I can see, heading to the sideline. Trezeguet will go on in his stead, and Mustafa Zico is also being taken off. And so the man who scored and provided is replaced by the latest great Egyptian talent, Abdul Karim. Well, quarter of an hour roundabouts with additional time to make a difference, and they are attacking changes from Egypt as well. They're not going to loosen off on the pedal in the twilight of this game.
Yeah, I think it's just like fresh energy, fresh legs. You said Abdul Karim is the new prodigy. So obviously at Barcelona at the moment in their B team on loan, got a couple of caps.
As he would try and come forward with Mohamed Salah, 30 yards out, 2-1 they lead. We're back on the way again, 77th minute. New Zealand having led in the first half with that goal from Finn Sermon. Goals from Zico and Salah for Egypt have turned the tide as they look for their first ever World Cup win, and one that might just be enough to see them through. 4 points, the most they would need for second place from their final two games. The three they've got today, if they hold on to this, might yet be enough. Here comes Salah in the centre circle, unable to find a way through though, and back into Egyptian clutches it goes. Game taking a moment to warm up again after those changes in the hydration break. There's a barge from Ashore on Ben Olds, and so a free kick in the left back position for New Zealand, who now find themselves in the unfamiliar position of chasing a game for the first time in this World Cup. Ahead 3 times across their 2 games, and now sitting bottom of the group and knowing they will have to take something off Belgium when they meet on Saturday in the final round of group games. Iran next up for Egypt, who are in a brilliant position now at the top of the group. Winner will play a third place side, whereas for the runner-up it will be the winner of the team in Argentina's group. And Lionel Messi's opening game salvo has made sure that Argentina keep their tag as favourites to win that group, and maybe more. As just comes forward, 78 gone, halfway inside the Egypt half, can't find a pass, and forced into going backwards again.
Yeah, just from Egypt's point of view, Abdul Karim will go up front with Mo Salah. Trezeguet just go onto that left-hand side. So Zico would actually played really well for Egypt, especially in the second half. Assist for Salah's goal, obviously got his header to get his team back into the game at 1-1. So he's sitting on the touchline on the sideline thinking, well, I've done my job, it's up to you now.
Ryan Thomas foul for New Zealand. Rather innocuous looking, but they'll take it. It's a good 50 yards out though, 20 yards right of centre, set down by Tim Payne. 11.5 minutes remaining. White shirts clustering in the area, aiming for Chris Wood, who got up for the header, but it's flashed behind. I think it'll be a corner. Referee's taking a moment. In fact, he's blown for a head injury here to Rami Rabia. I think he thinks it's going to be a goal kick too. Chris Wood got up high for it, flashed across. Well, it will definitely be a corner, unless he's angling for a free kick for the header from Chris Wood into the back of the Egyptian shoulder, and that's caused Yasser Ibrahim it is to go down to the ground, and now picking himself up gingerly.
Brilliant defending from Ibrahim as the ball comes in, because he knows he's going to get clattered. Chris Wood is coming in at the far post, and just as he gets his head on the ball, Chris Wood just clatters into him with his left forearm. Quite rightly, the referee Omar Al Ali just gives the free kick to Egypt just to relieve the pressure, but not necessarily the pressure on Ibrahim's head.
We don't want any more of that. 10.5 minutes to go. New Zealand 1, Egypt 2. Egypt might have mounted another attack then, but it squirmed under the feet of Salah, who was 25 yards out on the right-hand side. So New Zealand starting afresh from the back with Ben Old, who's got very deep onto that left-hand side now, trying to find a way past Salah. He's lost it to him. Here is Ashore, corner of the area, right-footed cross up over the red shirts and headed away. Payne it was, drops on the edge of the area. Egypt coming forward, shot from the corner of the box, but straight at the goalkeeper. Poor effort really from Ahmed Fatou. Doesn't score many for his country and didn't look likely to score there, and it was right into the breadbasket of Crocombe, who again has punted long and not to a New Zealand player. This time it's kept in by Rabia, who sends forward over halfway, and Egypt coming forward with renewed vigour. Ashore, near side there right, 1-2 with Hani, out to the right hand side where Mo Salah is waiting, 5 yards from the corner flag, wants the 1-2 with Ashore. Salah in the penalty area, that's where he loves to be, and he's forced the corner. Left footed whipped shot into defensive bodies that time though, not too dissimilar to the move from which he scored in this second half. Clipped away by the defence, out for a corner at 2-1 Egypt.
Well, that's all started down New Zealand's left-hand side because Ben Older's gone in and playing at left back, and he's normally attacking midfield player. Doesn't look comfortable there. Mo Salah just picks the ball up. Again, a little give and go with Ashur. Ashur rolls it back to him. In the right-hand corner, 18-yard box. Salah gets it onto his left foot. He's trying to bend it in Crocombe's far post. In the end, New Zealand get the block on. Corner for Egypt over on their left-hand side.
And you can tell by the roar of acclaim from the Egypt fans in that corner who it's going to be. It's going to be Salah, of course. Flick to the near post, and Trezeguet got there, and it's 3-1 Egypt. And maybe that's the game, and maybe that's their first ever World Cup win. Mohamed Salah, he's got his goal, and now he's set up one. Trezeguet off the bench, stooping header at the front post. New Zealand caught half asleep, and this game has got away from them and their coach Darren Baisley. Trezeguet with a goal. New Zealand 1, Egypt 3.
Well, we're seeing records being broken in the World Cup. There's another one because it's going to be Egypt's first win for 92 years in the World Cup finals. Mo Salah with his delivery from that right hand side, out swinging with his left foot. Trezeguet gets away from his marker. He makes sure that he uses the pace of the ball to redirect it. It's a really, really clever header. He's just completely unmarked to the near post. New Zealand just switch off completely. They're all pointing at each other. Bell is saying to Payne, why aren't you at the near post? Payne saying to Bell, well, you should be at the near post. One person who was at the near post was Trezeguet. He'll never get a simpler header, and he puts Egypt 3-1 up, total control of this game and total control of Group G.
Well, New Zealand defenders are hanging their heads. Egypt and Trezeguet have another goal. And the man on off the bench, that was exactly what they wanted him to do. They're going to make more changes now, and if they're that effective, as we've just seen, it could end up about 7-1. We've only got 7 minutes of normal time remaining, and that is a brilliant moment for Egypt. And New Zealand now, they must be lost to the reality of the fact that another opportunity for a win, has slipped through their fingers. Egypt, who are the first African team they have played at the World Cup, are giving them a second half schooling and are heading to the top of the group with some comfort now as well. Draws up to this point in the group so far, and here Egypt come again. Their appetite for goals not yet sated. Crossed in high, header at goal, clawed away by the goalkeeper. Whistle had gone, it wouldn't have counted for Abdel Karim. The teenager did head straight at Crocombe too, managed to get down and make the save. He was offside though. It remains New Zealand 1, Egypt 3.
Yeah, so New Zealand completely lost shape, lost belief. Mo Salah is getting loads more space now, as obviously New Zealand legs get a little bit more tired. Just eases the ball into box for the outside of his left foot. It's Abdul Karim who's in the centre forward position right in the middle of the goal, but he fouls Boxall, quite right, the referee. Omar Al Ali gives a free kick.
And we've got a substitution, and it is Mohamed Salah who's moved to within one of Egypt's all-time scoring record. It's a record held by his manager, and he scored the second of Egypt's 3 to turn this game around. He leaves it having set up the third for Trezeguet, and they're in full control. Imam Ashur is also going off. Zizou and Hossam Abdel Magid are coming on, and Egypt now looking to close this one out. They've gone to a defender, which seems an unsurprising turn of events in Abdel Magid. And 5 minutes remaining is all we have left of normal time. Zizou is a bit more of an attacking option. He plays out on the right hand side. New Zealand also going to make some changes here. We've seen just now Tyler Bindon, Nottingham Forest, been on loan at Sheffield United, a centre back thrown on, 21 years old. Tim Payne has gone off, and Elijah Just, who hasn't had the same effect this time around, has gone off too. He'll be replaced by left-sider Francis de Vries, who plays with New Zealand club Auckland. New Zealand 1, Egypt 3, and this game rapidly has got away from the All Whites, and looking for anything now they can salvage in a wreckage.
I just think they looked like they were frozen in that second half, Cameron, didn't they? You know, they just looked like they didn't have that belief that, you know, that they could see the game out, and so they just lost their momentum, lost that like sort of zip that they had.
But they're coming forward here now, though. 86th minute of the game, crossing to the penalty area that was looking for Old. It cannons out. Well, initially it looked like it might be off a defender, but then it's pinged backwards awkwardly at Jesse Randall, the freshest set of legs on the field. It's come off him, and it's going to be a goal kick, and it rather sums up New Zealand's second half. They struggled, 3 goals against them in that period, having led from the 15th minute with Finn Sermon's fine header from Tim Payne's corner. But now it's Egypt who are soaring to the top of the group and are favourites to head to the round of 32. Their first time they will have got out of the group at a World Cup, and they've really had to work for it. But in the second half performance, you have to say they deserve it.
Very much so. They've been by far the better team in the second half. So the Egypt coach Qasim Hassan deserves a lot of credit, for just making a couple of tactical tweaks. Said about Zico going through the middle, and then Mamouche going on that left-hand side, and Zico and Mo Salah just linking up for Salah's goal, which put New Zealand 2-1 up. And from then on, even though it was 2-1, the game was never in any doubt, Cameron, to be fair, was it? Because Egypt had all that momentum, and New Zealand just completely capitulated.
Well, they looked shocked, the All Whites. They've got a long throw in that's taken by Boxall into the penalty area, headed clear by Egypt. A goal for New Zealand would make it interesting at the end. Stamanic wanted it in the 18-yard box, and then he's furious with his teammate for not laying him off. They've gone out of the area, the All Whites now. 35 yards out with Old. Left-footed pass towards Bell. Plays it back away from goal. Here's De Vries, left-footed cross. Goes all the way towards the back post and then beyond it as well. Rising for the header was Randall. It's come off an Egypt man though in the corner. And so a throw-in to New Zealand now with 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. A goal, as you just said, Perry, has not looked likely in this second half for New Zealand. They find themselves needing 2. I'm sure they'll be generous out of time. Pinned on to the end of the game. 2 minutes away it is. Played in deep. Awkward slice there from Atia, the defender. And he's put it over his own goal line and out for a corner. But he meant to clear it on the left boot further upfield. And so it is a corner to New Zealand as we head towards the end of normal time. We saw them score, albeit from the opposite side in the first half. Chris Wood is running rings literally around the goalkeeper here. He's taking the defenders with him. And the referee has said there'll be no more pushing and pulling as we await the delivery. Far side the New Zealand right. In by De Vries. Defensive header it was on the penalty spots. Rabia, I think it was, who got there. Egypt can clear their lines and looking to go long. Maybe the chance of a counter, but Old is the deepest man back, and so he'll deal with Trezeguet and takes it away from him and tries to bring it forward again for New Zealand. 3-1 down, 90 seconds of normal time remaining.
Well, this is just about game management now from Egypt. Just making sure that they keep their defensive lines nice and tight, keep the distances right between the back 4 and the midfield.
And here come the All Whites once more, near side there left, whipped in by De Vries. It did hit Chris Wood and then cannoned out off his shin as he was trying to play in Old, and it might have been offside anyway. Yes, the flag has gone up, and so we'll start with a free kick for Egypt, and just inside their own penalty area, who have controlled the game masterfully well since getting back into it. Max Crocombe, the goalkeeper, will be particularly disappointed with his hand in sending the ball over the line from Zico's header just before the hour mark. That changed the game really. And then Salah halfway through the second period, and then Trezeguet 8 minutes from time. That leaves us at 3-1. Is there anything New Zealand can do with Randall? Far side there right, bundling forward, now he's taken on 2 and beaten 2, goes down in the 18-yard box. Good defending though, I think, from Mahan Lachine. Just used muscle to push him down to ground with his shoulder, got the ball away and pumped it long upfield. New Zealand 1, Egypt 3.
Yeah, it was good defending from Lachine, just making sure that he's protecting his 2 centre halves. Just got his body in between his opponent and the ball, just tried to release Zizou down that left hand side, overhit it just a little bit. So the game's got just a little bit fractured at the moment, which will suit obviously Egypt.
Well, we've got 7 minutes indeed of added time. 3 of those to the hydration break. We've had 3 goals in this half, multiple substitutions. Egypt just dropping a little bit deeper than we've seen them now, accepting a little more pressure. New Zealand tiring Every goal will help, though, even if they can't get the 2 to level this game. In the battle for third, it will surely come down to goal difference. The problem is, at the moment, they're fourth in this group, with Belgium and Iran on 2 points, and Egypt leading the way on 4. As Bell plays the ball out to the right-hand side for New Zealand, but deflected, didn't find its target, cleared towards halfway, and Sermon starting again.
Yeah, just looking at Egypt, Abdul Majid is just obviously centre-half by nature, but all he's done, he's just going to play in front of the 2 centre-halves, Ibrahim and Rabia, just to play like the Rodri role.
Ryan Thomas has crossed, looking for Chris Wood. Goalkeeper came bravely and palmed it away. Still a New Zealand ball near side their left. De Vries it is, with the fullback, cutting it away from goal. Now on the fringes of the attacking third. It's Stamanic, now dead central. Swansea man whips it into the penalty area. It's high. Goalkeeper came, didn't win it, but was fouled there. And the referee has given a free kick against New Zealand's Tyler Bindon. And the goalkeeper is lying flat on his back, holding his head as well. Boos ringing out. I think it's from the Egyptian fans as well for the meaty nature of the challenge. Bindon was a good foot higher than the goalkeeper. I'll tell you what, I don't know if he's done a whole lot wrong there. He's got up high. His head is at the same height as the goalkeeper's hands, and it looked to me as if Chabert just lost control of the ball. It would have been a corner rather than a free ball in the penalty area, but the goalkeeper has got the privilege there.
Yeah, and I think what it is, to be fair to Bindon, he rose really well. You said his head was as high as Chabert's hands, but what happened is just on the follow-through, his right arm just caught Chabert in his throat, and as you know, the goalkeepers are a protected species. I have to say, Chabert in Egypt's goal has been very impressive in the second half. Obviously conceded the header.
Oh, ball almost through the middle here, and New Zealand are going to be caught at the back. It might be 4. Defenders have all got lost. Oh, brilliant stop to deny Zizou. It was a weak back pass, and suddenly Zizou, with his first chance of the game, had the chance to get goal number 6 for his country, and it would have been Egypt's 4th of the game. He had a defender to navigate around, though, couldn't put it in. There was just enough defending available to New Zealand to keep that ball away, and they come forward again looking for a goal to cut the margin to 1. 3 minutes of added time have now elapsed. All Whites have it on their right hand side with Bindon, played forward into the area, but Randall trying to control it, played it to Old, and it skips out off a defender, Rabia, for a corner again with 5 minutes or 4 minutes of added time remaining for New Zealand. 3-1 down.
Zizou's got to score because he just toe close past Crocombe. It was obviously a really bad back pass. All he's got to do was his left foot, he rolls it into an empty net, he just cuts back onto his right foot. That gives Sermon the chance to come back and get his sliding tackle in, and then within 10 seconds it goes up for a corner for New Zealand on their right hand side.
And there is the corner, whipped in deep towards the back post. Bindon with his header back across goal, defensive header again, free in the 6-yard box. Oh, back in it goes. The header was begging for somebody to touch it goalwards. It just needed anybody's touch there from Ryan Thomas. It hung over the 6-yard box, defenders got there, and Bell is left to pick up for New Zealand on halfway as it goes cross field, and then New Zealand has stopped in full flight because another Egypt man is down. It's Hossam Abdelmajid as his goalkeeper in the 6-yard area comes across to check he's okay. He's holding his head, so the referee had no choice but to stop it. 3 minutes of added time remaining. I'm sure we'll play on because of the 2 injury stoppages, but he just gets he's claiming it's Michael Boxall shouldering his head. It was shoulder to shoulder. He's gone down. Was there a glancing blow of the elbow? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think he just got on the side of his cheek, to be fair to him, because Abdul Majid has just end up challenging Boxall, and it's not done on purpose from Boxall any way, shape or form, but as the modern day player, obviously Egypt under a little bit of pressure, so Abdul Majid sees the chance to make sure that the game stopped, just to take the sting out of it from New Zealand's point of view.
Well, there is a bit of concern here for the freshly introduced midfielder, plays for Zamalek in the Egyptian League, and he's down and still on his back, so they're taking every precaution. It did seem to be innocuous, a glancing blow if anything, but it doesn't take much, I guess, does it, with a head injury? And football's come a long way in the way it treats these incidents, but we are at 3-1, Egypt leading. 96th minute of the game. We'll play beyond the 97, I'm sure now, but it's sure to be 3 points. Egypt's first win at the World Cup, and they've been trying for a long time, nearly a century, 92 years since they became the first African side to play in the 1934 World Cup. They lost their one game that year against Hungary. A bit tough if you have to go home after 90 minutes, But this time it looks like they're going to be there into the round of 32. They'll need a maximum of a point against Iran in their final game. But some consoling hands here from Egyptian players to the stricken Abdul Majid. This is going to be an issue for Hossam Hassan. He has used his 5 substitutions. He will be able to use an extra one though for concussion reasons. He looks a little bit groggy, and I tell you what, there is a big bruise that's come up below his eye, and so maybe a bit more than the glancing blow actually, to give him his due. He's been very brave there, and he's back up on his feet.
Yeah, it was just an accidental elbow that caught him on the side of his face, so he's just got a nice shiner there. So he's got a war wound of he wants to stay on the pitch.
He looks very, very unsteady. He's going to have to go off here. He's been taken up by the Egyptian physio behind the goal. New Zealand, no mercy, have made sure he's gone off at the nearest available exit point. So I think this should be a concussion substitution, although he looks as if he wants to come on again.
Yeah, but what he's going to do is he'll run round obviously to where the halfway line meets the touch line. He'll have to stay around there for a minute, but to be fair to Abdul Majid, that is a genuine time-out. That is a genuine injury.
Oh no, there's no suggestion of time wasting there. It looks like a boxer. His eye's closing up on itself. He's really copped one. And the New Zealand backroom staff are coming across to speak to the 4th official and remind him, as Perry says, he needs to be off for a minute. We've now gone past the 7 added minutes. I think we're due another 2 at New Zealand 1, Egypt 3. It's lumped forward by the All Whites. 4 games coming up tomorrow across the TalkSport network, starting 6 p.m. Argentina versus Austria. As we have to start down the left-hand side with New Zealand now with De Vries. Egypt playing with 10 for the moment. New Zealand needing 2 goals, but even one will boost their goal difference in the battle for a 3rd place spot. They're going to end this round of games bottom of the group as it stands. De Vries with the long throw, goalkeeper coming, got one hand to it, drops in the 18-yard box, stabbing it goalwards, and then Bindon turned it at goal, saved by the goalkeeper, point blank range. That could easily have been 3-2, but now it might be 4-1 because Egypt are breaking in numbers. Forward it goes to Zizou, right edge of the penalty area now, but the defenders have got back in good number. Flicks one through, looking for Trezeguet, who got a foot on it, but only to take it out in front of the goalkeeper for a goal kick. Defence to attack quickly there for Egypt, who are in the mood for yet more goals at the end of this game, but a good save down the other end from Shobair to deny the reaction touch from Tyler Bindon.
Yeah, the game's getting a little bit stretched, obviously, as the players get a little bit more tired. So it looks like
Mohamed Abdul Monim has come on, and that is going to be the 6th change of the game for Egypt. That will be, well, there we go, it's been confirmed, the suspected concussion, and so there is an extra substitution that can be made in such situations. New Zealand, if they wish, can make an extra one as well to make it fair. I don't know if there will be time, and so Abdul Majid, the sub, has been subbed with that hefty bruise opening up below his eye. We're in the 99th minute, New Zealand 1, Egypt 3. Egypt controlling this second half, and New Zealand have run out of steam now, it seems. Sermon, who got the scoring started all that time ago in the first half, dispossessed in the centre circle. Egypt aren't too keen to head for another goal though. They've gone all the way back, conservative route, 60 yards downfield to the goalkeeper Shobair, who kicks maybe for the last time all in green into the New Zealand half, and it's gone all the way to his opposite number, Crocombe, as New Zealand fans urge their side on. Egypt supporters calling for the whistle. Beaten long from the defence. Even a goal would help New Zealand. Cleared away by defender Ibrahim, up towards the front line where Trezeguet takes it down against the very tired Tyler Bindon. He's come on, he shouldn't be tired. In the centre circle it goes to Atia. Egypt looking for goal number 4. Zizou, one to his name already, 35 yards out on the left foot, opted against the shot though, and Egypt are just soaking up the pressure here, all the pressure that New Zealand can muster, just passing it between themselves. Middle third, don't need to find an extra goal as they come down the right hand side with Zizou, up by the corner flag, got a cross in, hit the defender Boxall, out for a corner. Well, it's going to be Egypt's game. 100 minutes on the clock now, and there goes the final whistle. Egypt have their first win at a World Cup, and they had to work in it in the second half. 3 goals though unanswered after New Zealand's first half lead, have turned the tide completely, and they're on the brink now of qualifying for the round of 32. Mohamed Salah back on with his substitute's bib, claps the numerous red-clad Egyptian supporters. A moment in history for their team and their fans. Some saves needed in that second half, just at the end from Mustafa Shoubir, but the damage really done by those 3 goals. Zico, Salah and Trezeguet cancelling out Sermon after a quarter of an hour. And for New Zealand, it is another chance to win that has passed them by. They will be bottom of the group. Egypt top. Egypt have won by 3 goals to 1.
You have to say it's well deserved. In the second half they were by far the better team. They played with far more energy, they had far more determination. New Zealand just sat back, they tried to hang on to that 1-0 lead, and we said, didn't we, Cameron, in commentary, that it's a dangerous game to play. They just invited pressure onto themselves. When you've got players with the ability and talent of Mo Salah, in the end you're going to get punished. It's exactly what happened. Salah getting himself a goal and an assist, Zico getting himself a goal and an assist, Zico getting his team back at 1-1. It's a really poor goalkeeping from Crocombe, from Zico's header. But I have to say, sometimes when your team aren't managing to change stuff, that's when the top coaches come in. And Hossam Hassan, the Egyptian manager, he made that tactical tweak where Zico went centrally, Marmoush went out on the left hand side, and Zico and Salah really linked up well in that second half. You see the staff now from Egypt running round the pitch with the Egyptian flag. This is a massive moment in Egyptian football history, qualifying, winning their first game in 92 years in the World Cup finals, and all but qualifying. Obviously now on 4 points.
Well, you have to back them now, don't you? They are very close. Hossam Hassan, the coach, and his brother Ibrahim, who's his assistant, they've got 300 caps between them, and they have masterminded a win over New Zealand when the going was tough in the first half, and they're running a victory lap now around BC Place with that Egyptian flag held above their heads, and the players are going to milk every moment of the celebrations now. High fives all around. A special moment as well for Mohamed Salah, outright Egypt's top scorer at World Cups, and he moves within 1 of his manager's record of all-time goals for the Egyptian national team. He'll have a chance to go for more as Egypt play Iran Saturday 4 a.m. UK time in Seattle, and the maximum they will need from that game is a point. For New Zealand, it is Belgium up next Saturday same time, 4 in the morning. They'll be back in Vancouver. A huge opportunity has passed Darren Baisley's men by.